What is the... 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 What is the point?
It's a bit high up here. But anyway, it's a presentation about my final major project.
Hello. Oh, welcome to my presentation. Vlog, video, blog. So, table's broken. Oh, hang on. Oh. I'm going to create an installation that's a series of masks. On these masks I'll have images, projection mapped onto them. These will be motion graphics, imagery content that's used a lot online, such as emoticons, or emojis. Initially I'm just going to start with 7 masks as this is a concept piece, but I am looking to develop this into a 50 mask installation to be put in a large public space. This would be entered for the Lumen Prize, digital media's most coveted prize. The masks are there to represent how we online are constantly applying different filters or Snapchat masks to ourselves to change how we are online or to enhance ourselves.
Right, my lovers?
Exploring theories of interaction that's looking to using to then fully interacting both in the live and on the online as well, and how do I create a piece of artwork that can bridge that gap. It's very much an experiment in the artwork itself, but also an experiment of how the audience interact with it. So there's 5 stages. First part, the audience look at it. Now, in my experience of doing public artwork before, I noticed that the audience tend to only stay for 10 seconds. Stage 2 is the interaction. That's where they've looked, they've listened to the piece, and they've chosen then to go and interact directly with it by looking through the masks. They've chosen which mask they want to look through. I reckon on about 30 seconds at that point. Step 3, where they choose to co-author a piece of art. So they choose to take a picture of them wearing that particular mask. How they photograph it and what filters they add to it is up to them. Have a hashtag, be able to link all the other pictures, hopefully. This creates another body of the artwork online that I actually almost don't have control over. The audience then becomes the user. There's an exchange that goes on. So for instance, I'm reading The Guardian here. I'm consuming The Guardian. There's nothing that I can upload to. There's the comments below the line we don't talk about, and if I was to do that, then I would be adding to it, but I wouldn't be adding directly to the article itself, as it's a closed editorial. I spilled the tea down the top. Oh, that's bad, isn't it? Facebook and Instagram, for instance, I would say I'm a user, because I not only take from Facebook by reading and watching, but I also upload and I add content to it, so there's that exchange of interaction. And that's why, coming back to my installation, once there's that interaction with the online part, that's where the metaphorical gap is bridged, and it's not one or the other, but it's that it exists in that realm of the internet. Stage 4 is controlling. In front of the piece there'll be an iPad that will be able to control elements of the installation. Brightness of the masks, to which masks are displayed where, colours, then giving the audience another element of control. And it'd be very interesting to see if everyone uses it, or is it just some people choose to use the controlling panel, the masks, or do they also go and look through the masks as well? But the people looking through the masks will have no control over what mask is displayed. It'll be up for the audience looking at it to choose. Then the 5th part, is surveillance. Live streaming on the internet has become quite popular. That's live streaming on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. This will be then live streamed online, so the audiences who are not necessarily in the space or near the space can also interact with it. This would be displayed elsewhere. Message. Tinder message. so that it becomes a more of a voyeuristic experience for those in another space watching it. They can also then see the pictures that are being uploaded to Instagram and Twitter or wherever by the users in the space, but they can also see the comments that people are leaving as well in a live element. And so you get that transition, that beautiful transition between an actual thing in a live space thing, but then it also exists online as well. And that recording will only be lasting in that moment. It will not be kept. And so it's a very interesting social experiment to see what happens. As a digital artist, my role is to use that art form to really communicate about attitudes to the internet. There's a lot of talk about how great it is, but there's also a very scary side to it. That element of control and digital capitalism. There's been a lot of technical progress in a very short space of time. Technological process that can really only be likened to the Industrial Revolution, really, in how much it's impacting on our lives. We've got the whole world's information at our fingertips. There's only a few companies that actually control the internet that we use most. For instance, Mark Zuckerberg is likened to a country leader because of the daily active users on Facebook. Facebook would become the 4th largest country in the world, which is scary. But we've got to remember that Facebook is not a country, it's a company, and it harvests data. And everyone goes, oh yeah, we'll put everything up, yeah, that's fine. You know, invasion of privacy is gone in my installation, brings that into question. With regards to the morals, Martin Luther King made a very good speech, linked 3 things: the technological revolution that was about to come, human rights, and modern weaponry. He said that if we didn't come up with a moral framework for these 3 things, then we would be in a mess. Research that I'm undertaking. So I'm reading authors like John Taplin, looking at Martin Luther King's further speeches. Miltos Mantos is a Greek artist living in Rome. He set up a art movement called Meme, which is derived from the word screen. Another author, thinker, and vlogger and filmmaker is Kirby Ferguson, who's made some great films about copying and content and the importance that copying has had in art. We wouldn't have some of the greatest films or musicians or even artists, painters, traditional artists, if it hadn't been for them copying other styles and enhancing and adding to in their own way. But given the Patent Act and copyright, quite a lot of that has been stifled because of the market and capital, and thus digital capitalism, and it becomes quite suffocating in how we create content. And looking at Roy Ascott and his elements of cybernetics and play and inviting the audience to change his artwork in some way, he's done a lot of games, moving about paintings. Julie Wacom, her book Pressed for Time, The Acceleration of Life in Digital Capitalism, so this idea that we're constantly rushing, we've got somewhere to be. So that's my introduction to my project.